Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a review of the Kat Von D Lock-It line. I was recently sent the entire Lock-It line, the foundation, the concealer, the new powder foundation, the translucent powder, and some brushes. Oh, and the setting mist. So yeah, I used all of the products today. I did a quick review and a demo. And before I even start the video, I just have a few things to say because I did get a lot of DMs about the Kat Von D vaccination thing. A lot of my followers were disappointed that I received PR from her because she didn't vaccinate her child. And the thing is, I've really thought long and hard about this issue because it is an issue. Here's the way I see it. I don't buy from companies that test on animals because the reason they're testing on animals is for financial reasons. They either see value in the Chinese market and justify testing on animals for that reason, or they test on animals because it's more affordable or whatever the reason may be, but it is driven by finances. So if I put my money towards a company that doesn't test on animals, I am making a statement about the company that does test on animals because they are doing it for financial reasons. However, Kat Von D not vaccinating her child was not financially driven whatsoever. Do I agree with it? No. I am educated on the topic of vaccines. I'm currently pursuing my degree and I'm taking a fourth-year virology course. I understand the repercussions. And do I think it's a responsible decision? No, not really. However, I don't see that boycotting her brand is going to change her mind. And that's just my personal opinion on the matter because it wasn't a financially driven decision on her part. You can't really change her mind through financially supporting or not supporting her brand. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I've really thought hard about it, about whether I was going to continue to use her products or not. And at the end of the day, me being cruelty-free already limits how many brands I can morally buy from. So me adding another brand to that list, it just doesn't really make sense to me personally. She's cruelty-free and she's vegan, and so are her products, and that's just what my page is about. So it would be silly of me to not support that company based on a personal decision that I don't agree with. And if you're disappointed by the fact that I'm reviewing these products, that's okay, just don't watch. And if you aren't supporting her, again, that's okay. We just have conflicting opinions and you know, that happens. But I just wanted to say that just because a lot of people did express that they were disappointed that I did receive free product from her. Anyways, now that that is out of the way, I will move on to the demo of me applying these products and then we can get into the review. Okay, so this is a PR box. It's pretty big, it's pretty heavy duty. So I basically got all of her Lock-It products along with some brushes and a handy dandy mirror. So that's exciting. They matched my foundation shade really well. They gave me 3 options, obviously, and they all seem to be decent matches. If not, I can just mix, which is nice. And I'm glad I didn't get the whole shade range because that would be wasteful. Actually, I kind of wish I got the whole shade range, not gonna lie, because I could put it in my kit. Okay. So we'll start off with the foundation, I guess. So I believe this is the brush for foundation. It's the number 10 brush. So yeah, I just looked it up. Well, I didn't, my best friend did. This is the foundation brush, it's the number 10. So I'm gonna do half my face using the brush and half of my face using the Beauty Blender. Just right off the bat, it's a really densely packed brush and it's so soft. Okay, so the 3 shades that I got are Light 42 Neutral, Light 43 Warm, and Light 44 Cool. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is mix Light 44 Cool and Light 42 Neutral. Actually, let's watch Light 44 Neutral like on my actual face. I think it might be a bit light. Oh, yeah. Wow, she real light. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mix Light 44, wait, no. I'm gonna mix Light 42 Neutral for the neutral tone in it, and then I'm going to mix Light 44 Cool just to add a little bit of color because that lightest one is just way too light for me. Okay, so I'm gonna do half my face. I'll do the right side of my face with the brush. I think I remember this drying down pretty quickly, so I'm going to work fast. Okay, so it's a very full coverage, but I think we already knew that. So she has 44 shades in this foundation. She used to have 30, so she expanded, which is great. You could always use some more shades. This brush really builds up the coverage. Wow, holy cow. The finish, I didn't use a primer, by the way, just because I haven't been using a primer recently and I don't want to. So just without a primer, it actually is sitting really nicely on the skin so far. It hasn't really sunk into any pores. It's been fairly easy to blend out. That being said, I did work in small areas. That's how I normally do foundation though, because I'm scared that things are gonna dry down too quickly and then I'll just be stuck with a splotchy mess. Ooh, this brush gets around your brows really nicely. Yeah, it smells a little painty, not gonna lie. That doesn't personally bug me though, but if you're sensitive to fragrance, it might. It kind of smells like the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. They have similar scents, but again, I don't really care. Okay, so I really like this foundation brush actually. I'm not usually a huge brush person, but this one is very soft, very densely packed, and it spread everything really nicely. There's no streak marks, pretty much nothing. It looks fairly flawless. It looks the same as if I would do my regular foundation routine with the Beauty Blender. So now I'm gonna do the other side of my face, just do little dots, and I will use a Beauty Blender and we'll see how that affects the coverage and the finish, if at all. So blending it in with a Beauty Blender is faster with this foundation so far. I find it always is though. Okay, is it just me or does that look exactly the same? Wow, you know it's a good foundation brush when it does the same thing as a Beauty Blender. I think this side has a tad more coverage. The Beauty Blender sheared it out just a tad, just a smidge. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see me up close and personal. Hello. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but honestly, I like the brush side better. What? I did not see that coming. The coverage on the brush side is just so much better, and yeah, that's really all there is to it. The finish looks a lot more flawless. There's no streaks. Not that there's streaks on the Beauty Blender side, but you know, sometimes brushes can be streaky. Other than the coverage, they pretty much have the same finish. I would even go as far as saying that the brush gave a slightly better finish. Okay, so I just got word that that brush is $43. That's kind of pricey, but if you're looking for a foundation brush that's really, really good, that one is. Okay, so the 3 concealer shades that they sent me are L1 Light Neutral, L3 Warm, and L5 Neutral. I'm gonna assume I'm gonna be L5 Neutral. This shade range goes really, really light. I'm usually either the lightest or second lightest shade. However, this shade range goes super duper light, like almost white. I thought they sent me the whiteout concealer, but no, it's actually a shade down from that. So they actually did send me a concealer brush as well. It's pretty much the exact same as the foundation brush, just smaller. This is the 40 brush. This one retails for $30. So again, it is a little pricey, but we'll see how it performs. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the right side of my face using the brush, and then I will do the left side using the Beauty Blender. So now I'm gonna take the concealer brush. I never really use brushes for concealer. This one seems to be working fairly well though. It's blending everything in pretty fast. Sometimes some concealer brushes just kind of spread things around, if you know what I mean. But this one's actually like blending it into my under eye area. So the coverage on this concealer is really good. It's very high coverage, which is great because your girl looks tired. Okay, so yeah, I really like that brush. Again, what the heck is going on? I never like brushes. I am shooketh. So now I'm gonna take my handy dandy beauty sponge. The concealer doesn't smell like paint. It doesn't really have a smell. And again, the coverage doesn't look like it's as good. I'll zoom you in again. So this is the side with the brush. As you can see, very flawless coverage. This side, I mean, it's still good coverage, but like, I feel like I can see a little bit of shadow on the inner corner. Okay, so I'm applying some more because I just don't feel like the coverage is really adding up with the Beauty Blender. Ooh, this side creased a little bit. I'm very creasy without powder though. That's pretty normal for me, so Okay, I feel like they're kind of matching coverage-wise now. So again, I was not ready for what the brushes had in store for me. I actually prefer the brush side to the Beauty Blender side. I don't know if that's just me being nitpicky. It very well may be, but it looks really good. Okay, so now I am going to use the Lock-It Translucent Setting Powder. I have tried this before, and to be honest, I remember not liking it that much, but I don't really remember why. So I'm gonna give it another go because my skin has changed a lot. Oh! Sorry, headphone users. But yeah, my skin has changed a lot, so I'm definitely willing to give this powder another go. And also with the translucent powder, I wasn't using it with the Kat Von D concealer, which may affect its performance, I don't know. So I'm going to use a Beauty Blender on both sides just because I wouldn't normally bake with a brush. I don't think I'm gonna bake, I'm just gonna set, just because I feel like these products are marketed to be long wearing, so I don't feel like I need to bake. I mean, it looks okay to me. My under eye looks like a tad dry, but it doesn't look any drier than when I use like a Laura Mercier translucent powder. It looks pretty much the same. So yeah, I'm not really sure why I didn't enjoy this last time. Maybe the reason will rear its head as I wear it throughout the day, and I keep doing this while I'm talking, so I apologize for that. Okay, so now for the star of the show. This is the reason why I got this whole PR package in the first place. It is the new powder foundation. First of all, let's talk about this packaging. Like, how absolutely stunning is that? Oh, looks like a little velvet cushion that your powder's sitting on. So I got the shade Fair 115. It looks like it'll be a pretty good shade match. I'm honestly probably not going to be able to tell much about the coverage just because the foundation was already so full coverage. Yeah, the foundation is slightly tacky. It's definitely going to need to be set for me personally with my oily skin. If you have dry skin and you don't mind like a slight tackiness, you may be able to get away with it. Oh, there is coverage there. I mean, I guess it does say full coverage, so I'm just giving a light dusting all over the face. I'm not really going in hard with the product, so again, I'm not sure how much coverage it's actually giving me. Okay, so I just did like a light layer of the powder foundation, and I'll be honest, my skin still feels a little bit tacky, which is kind of strange. Usually after I powder, I like to have like a silky finish. Yeah, it's still kind of tacky, which is kind of weird, so I might go over it again with some translucent powder because I don't love that feeling. Maybe it's not tacky. Maybe it's just not as silky as when I set with translucent powder because that's what I usually do. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna set with translucent powder anyways just because I don't love that feeling. I don't think I would mind it if I was just using the powder foundation on its own, but on top of a liquid, I just really like the feeling of like a really silky, smooth finish. So yeah, after I set with translucent powder, it's a lot more of a silky finish, which is what I personally enjoy. So I am going to do the rest of my face and then I will come back and we can finish off with the final product, which is the setting spray, and then I will give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I finished my face and I kind of have a few thoughts as I was looking at myself a little bit closer. So I really like the foundation or whatever's on my face. I like the foundation, the powder, the translucent powder. I feel like it looks very smooth. You can't really see my pores. However, my under eyes are a little drier. My skin is oily, but my eye area is kind of dry, and I definitely see it with this concealer. So the concealer is not my favorite, and my under eyes, I don't know if you can see, I'll try to even zoom you in even more. They're a little bit crepey. Can you see that? Now that I have eyeshadow on, you can't tell, but my lid was looking pretty dry. However, on the rest of my face that is oily, it looks really good, I think. Oh, and I have to set my face with the Lock-It Makeup Setting Mist. I've heard such good things about this. And the mister is amazing. I've already tested that part out. Oh, wow. Wow. It is scented. So if that bugs you, maybe don't pick this one up. Doesn't really bug me. I don't love fragrance in my products, but I'm not sensitive to it. So it's just such a nice veil of product instead of spitting at you. It's a really, really good actual sprayer. Okay, so a final roundup of the products. It's kind of hard to give like a definitive review because I'm not 100% certain what's doing what. So there's more first impressions. If my opinions do change, I will update you in a later video. So the Lock-It foundation, I like this. It looks good on me. I did have to mix shades, however, they have a pretty extensive shade range. I only needed 2 pumps for my whole face, so that was good. The coverage is awesome. The finish is nice. I like how it applied. I liked how products sit on top of it, so it has a thumbs up from me so far. This retails for $44. It's fairly standard for a more high-end foundation. In fact, it is kind of on the lower end. There is 30 mils in here, which is fairly standard for foundations. So yeah, I'm enjoying my first wear of this so far. The second product that I tried was the concealer, and if I'm being honest, it's not my favorite concealer. It just really emphasized any dry patches that I have. I might try to use this in the summer when my eyelids are not as crepey. I don't know why I have such oily skin and then such a dry eye area. It's kind of strange, but if you do have an oily lid and eye area, this might be really good for you. You might really enjoy this because it does really stay put and it's really high coverage. So this is $34 and you get, how much product is in here? 6.25 grams, 0.22 ounces. Honestly, I'm not really sure what the standard is for a concealer. I guess it kind of varies, but so yeah, this wasn't my absolute favorite. Maybe if I had less dry skin around my eyes, that would be a better fit for me. So the new powder foundation, I personally liked it. It was kind of hard to tell what the powder was doing versus what the foundation was doing. It sat really nicely on top of the foundation though, so I did like that. The only thing was, it was a little bit tacky for my liking. Like my face still felt a bit tacky with this powder. I'm not sure what that was about, but I might just have to play around with it a little more. That could have been my error. But yeah, it's a very smooth powder. It felt nice on my skin. It sat really nice on top of the foundation. So it gets a thumbs up for me. I'm not really able to tell you how it sits over dry patches just because I don't have any dry patches on my face right now. And the powder foundation retails for $44 as well. So it's just kind of an alternative. It's the same price as the liquid. You also get 9 grams, 0.31 ounces in here. The translucent powder I liked all over my face. It's 19 grams and it retails for $40. I did use it on my under eyes. I'm not sure if it's the powder or the concealer that's making my under eyes look dry. It's kind of hard to tell, so I'm not too sure. I'll have to play around with it some more, but on my face, I really like it. The setting mist is really, really nice just from first use. My first impression is I really like it. It retails for $38. You get 120 mils for fluid ounces. Okay, and finally the brushes that I got. Honestly, these really, really surprised me. These are pricey. I'm just gonna come right out and say that. The foundation brush is $43, the concealer brush is $30, and the powder brush is, I don't know, the powder brush is $47. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think that this powder brush is anything particularly special that's worth $47. It is really soft, and if you're in the market for a good vegan brush, like this is definitely good quality, but I just find that powder brushes, like they just apply powder. I don't find that they really do anything super duper special. So if you're gonna go for one brush, I would definitely recommend the foundation brush. I just can't believe that I actually liked this application more than a beauty blender with this foundation anyways. I'm gonna have to try it out with different foundations, but oh my gosh, like this is actually life-changing. So I'm gonna have to try it with other products and stuff like that, but if you're gonna get one brush, I think that this one is definitely the most unique. The concealer brush also really surprised me just because it gave me such more coverage than the beauty blender did, and it blended everything out really quickly. Usually I don't like concealer brushes because it takes so long to blend everything out, but this just did it so quickly. So I would recommend this one if you're in the market for a good concealer brush. The powder brush is nice, like don't get me wrong. It's really soft. It applied really well. It's just I've tried powder brushes that have done similar things. They just You know, like it's just a dusting of powder. I don't know. Maybe if I was just wearing the powder foundation on its own, I'd feel differently. So I will get back to you on that if I find that this is like actually life-changing. And yeah, that's my roundup of all the products. I hope you enjoyed. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.